Alright, hang on. Hey, welcome to another episode of Mitch's Minute. So we have a special Gundam episode today. Today I'm joined by Josh, Nate, and Amanda. Amanda's currently in the middle of a storm, so if she cuts out at any point, that is the answer to that.
Yup.
If we lose her, we can just assume that she died.
If we lose her, it was the Earth Federation.
The Earth Federation.
Fucking fatties.
Also, if I sound a little weird, that might also be why.
Yeah.
Well, if we lose Nate, that's just Xeon, right?
The colony drops.
Oh no.
Alright, so for those at home, we are huge, stupid Gundam fans.
Clearly not as huge as you, Mitch.
No, that's not true at all. Isn't this one the one that's the stupidly loud one? Okay. Also, we have a soundboard, which I found out that there's a site that we can go to where I can put some of my own sound bits in. So I will probably spend a good portion of either tomorrow or Tuesday making my own soundboard for the podcast. But that being said, we are huge fans of Gundam on the show, specifically the Universal Century. And earlier in July of last year, they had made an announcement, Legendary Pictures made an announcement that they were going to be helming the live-action Gundam movie for the States. And
I never asked for any of these! Yeah!
I wanted literally none of this. Hell yeah.
Woo!
And I get all these sound cards.
Let's just mess with this for an hour.
Yeah,
Fuck what we were gonna say.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
What is this one? Hang on.
I literally have I have like no reference for it because fucking I can't hear it.
Oh my god. Alright. So, anyways, soundboard aside, we had a we wanted to kind of give our predictions in the same way that like you do brackets. We wanted to kind of say like, all right, so this is what we think is going to happen before the first trailer drops. And then when the first trailer drops, we'll come back to it and we'll talk about it more in detail and what we think they're going to do. Who wants to start off with their predictions? I'll go!
Okay.
Yes.
I thought we agreed that I would kind of go last.
Yes. No, Amanda, you go last because you actually looked up like official stuff.
I was like, who's the director? Who's doing this shit? All right.
So, I think the live-action Gundam movie is going to be. I'm using The Last Airbender. And
so I've not seen that movie because I heard about it. So you have to like give me like some context here.
Okay. So I'm gonna use The Last Airbender, and I'm also gonna use the adaptation of Ghost in the Shell for context, like for what I think is gonna happen.
Okay,
so,
I've seen neither of them.
Okay, so in The Last Airbender, they covered the first book of Avatar, and when I say the first book, I mean all 20 episodes of the first part of Avatar: The Last Airbender. I think what they're gonna do is they're going to cover the first compilation film from Japan. I think they're going to try their best to like rewrite some aspects of it to make it quote unquote more American. And when I say more American, I mean like, you know, like make it more like, you know, explode and shit. Like I feel like they learned a lesson, like Legendary Pictures learned a lesson from Godzilla 2014, where like they had like it's Godzilla in the background. Haha, wasn't that clever? Like no one liked that shit. I thought in the theater, I was like, this sucks. So I think what they're gonna do is they're gonna make it into like it's gonna be all about the fucking mobile suit fights. I think they're gonna make Xeon actual Nazis. I think that they're gonna like make it so that like I'm not sure how far they'll go with the Nazi iconology.
Hashtag not my Xeon.
I think that's exactly what they're gonna do, because if I know American companies the way that I do, I know that they have a hard on for beating down Nazis.
Oh, dude, fucking. For some reason, we're obsessed with the idea of just kicking the shit out of Nazis.
And, like, I think that
Nazis and commies. So if they're not Nazis, they might be commies. Keep that in mind.
Comrade,
they have to be some kind of fascist.
Comrade Garma, it is good to see you.
I heard of him. He is called the Red Comet.
I don't know if it'll get through production, man. Our president really loves them Russians.
Yeah, but that's
I think he's probably pretty partial to Nazis as well.
Oh no.
Okay, that's the thing. If they were commies, the fact that Char's the Red Comet would fucking just.
Rao would have the thickest Russian accent. No, so, like, that's the thing, though.
He suddenly has, like, a Stalin mustache.
I don't think they're gonna cover the fact, like, the whole Earth Federation Zeon side thing. I think they're gonna do, like, original Gundam storyline. Zeon's the bad guys. They're always the big bad guys. They're attacking Earth. They're, like, they're fucking tearing up our world and shit. And their war is destroying the planet. Not that, we didn't destroy the fucking planet. Not that we didn't send the 2 billion people up into space. No, that shit's not going to get covered. What's going to get covered is the idea that, like, the space noids are evil and Earth is the good guys, because that's how I think they're going to view it. I think they're going to simplify this shit to, like, they're going to boil down the broth of Gundam and just get this scummy underside, and that's what they're gonna put on a fucking sandwich.
It's not even the bare bones of fucking Gundam. They're fucking making broth out of fucking broth.
Like, well, that's what it feels like. It feels because, like, and obviously the thing is that there's no. The only thing we got was, like, one promo image, and that was it, and that's all we have. But I can't help but be cynical about this. Like, Gundam is one of those things where, like, it's a big war drama. It's, it's two sides. No one's exactly right. Earth Federation are pieces of shit. There's some Zeon pieces of shit, but, like, it's war. Like, the whole idea is that there's no real good guys. Earth wants to keep the space. Earth wants to keep the space noids within the overall, like, yeah, look, guys, we govern you, and you make all of our shit, and then you send it to Earth, and we pollute the Earth. Everyone wins.
See, that's a good idea. Yeah. Let's do that. Let's fight for that.
Like, and then Zeon's obviously fighting for their independence, and there's that argument. And obviously, I'm not saying that the zombies are right, but I am saying that Zeon as a argument makes sense. So, obviously, I have a huge bias in the matter. I also think Char is 1,000 times cooler than fucking Amuro. And I think what they're gonna do in the live action.
That one, no.
Oh yeah.
I think they're gonna get a. I think what they're gonna do for Amuro is they're probably going to get someone who is, maybe a minority. Like, I'm thinking that they might make it so that, like, it's like, oh, look, it's a minority against the Nazis. Like, they're gonna double down on it, like, because they have to, right? In my horrible, cynical, shitty mind, that's all I can think to myself is that they're just gonna make Zeon Nazis. Because if you and if you make them relatable characters to any degree, it's like, oh, Rumble Raw was nice, but it turns out he was only being nice to get the info. What an asshole. Fucking Nazis. And they're gonna fuck up Lala soon. They're gonna fuck up everything. The more I talk about it, the more I realize how much Legendary Pictures is gonna fuck this up.
What are you talking about, Mitch? They only made, the Great Wall and Pacific Rim Uprising.
Pacific Rim Uprising!
Oh, no. Don't worry, they can't possibly fuck up a, storied.
Oh, and let's not forget the masterpiece of Mamma Mia. Here we go again.
I feel like you're just bringing up Here We Go Again, because I don't think they made the first Mamma Mia, and I think you're obsessing about that.
No, they didn't. They didn't even make the first Mamma Mia. They made fucking Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again.
Because it needed to go again.
all I'm gonna say is I think the first movie is going to be from the beginning of the original compilation film to the end of the first compilation film. I think they're going to introduce characters early, just so that we have more context. I think they're going to show. I think they might give Rambaral a bigger role. I think they might give Trafalgar Law. That's the character from One Piece.
Yes.
Slagger.
So we're doing the extended,
extended manga universe.
Oh,
that's it.
You see, one of those Murnovsky reactors went critical and brought people from other universes in.
Oh my god. I think they're gonna make. I think
it opened up a portal to a parallel dimension.
And then we brought in all the SD Gundams.
Oh no!
So you have Gundams inside of other Gundams.
Do you think that if they ever did it into the Gundam verse, like an SD Gundam would be like Spider-Ham?
Oh
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I guess.
Anyways. The whole point of all of this is essentially like, that's where I sit. I think it's going to begin with the beginning of Gundam, and it's going to end with Garma's death. I think that's where it's going to go. That's where I sit. What do you guys think?
Nate, did you want to go, or were you fine with me going ahead?
No, you go ahead. Mine was probably only a couple lines. You're fine.
So, oh no! Is that Amuro Ray?
Lala soon.
Lala, are you back? Please help.
We need you back here. We need to
Predict
know.
This trash,
cut through
please.
the fog of war. So I see it going sideways in 3 different ways, possibly. So, there's a history of things that, where we do really bad adaptations of, anime properties, right? Or animated properties. So, one way is they could try to, but, aside from those, there are, a few other considerations taken. One is, there's probably going to be a large consideration given towards, the Chinese and international markets when they're producing the film. And from what I've seen, as far as those films that are heavily marketed towards the Chinese, they tend to have storytelling that's warped to please the Chinese censors. In Pacific Rim Uprising and in The Great Wall, usually you have some your quote unquote Western main character who's selfish and individualistic, who comes around to working for the good of the whole, or the good of the group and the collective. And I can definitely see people slotting Amuro Ray into that group, and then doing the imperialistic overtones with the Xeon forces and Char. And I feel that's one way we could do it, because god damn it, I do not really see this film having a great way forward in Western audiences, honestly. The other way is as Mitch said, trying to adapt it for the West by sort of borrowing familiar / popular motifs from Western filmmaking.
They're gonna eat up that fucking line about Hitler. I bet I could imagine someone creaming their fucking pants at the idea.
Oh, this is gold.
They're just
about the fact that he's just I don't know who Hitler is, but okay.
I'll be the new Hitler.
Yeah, it's
God! Oh god, I came all over my pants. It's such a good line. We're gonna use it forever.
Despite right before that him saying, "I don't even know who Hitler is." And
no, they're gonna forget that part. They're just gonna and they're just gonna keep jerking off into the fucking Nazi cum factory.
But it's how
way too much fun with that fucking soundboard, G.
You are, Mitch.
All right.
One of the main fears I have is just the idea that fucking Amuro's going to be played by an actual 14-year-old, a 14 to 15-year-old,
like Ender's Game.
Well, I mean, it's I just feel super apprehensive, right? Where how all the spy dramas after like the Bourne movies came out looked like the Bourne movies.
Yeah.
Or how after Transformers everything tried to look like Transformers.
Yeah.
I feel like, you know, Gundam's probably going to be in that boat where it's going to try to look like something that exists. If it's
are you worried that it's going to try to look like, I don't know, Pacific Rim or Bumblebee or some shit?
I feel like it tried to look more like, you know, a superhero film of some sort.
Yeah, because that's the thing we're not really focusing on. We're focusing on like how it's going to
Like
be, but it's like there's like a marketable attribute of this because they're probably gonna want to sell Gundam toys again. I don't know.
I mean, and then, you know, if it doesn't go one of those two routes, then it's gonna go like the Ghost in the Shell route, where it's like they try to use the source material and reference the source material as much as they can, but it's written by people who don't understand the main appeal of like the source material.
Yeah. Well,
can we just get a bunch of weaves to be producers? That would help.
Well, okay. So I like Nate's idea because I like the idea of there being like, fuck, I don't know, kid show nowadays. Transformers will be back after these commercials, and then there's just like, oh no, the colony's gonna drop. Char! And then like the kid pulls out a little like RX-78 action figure and has a little gun with a little trigger on it, blasts a hole in some weird paper cubes. And then fucking
because that's a thing. Because we don't know who this is going to be marketed towards. It's like, is it going to be kids or is it going to be adults? Which, in a sense, Gundam probably should be.
Isn't that
or like more mature audiences.
Considering that it's a property from the fucking 70s, yeah, I certainly fucking hope so.
No, yeah, you know they got to do. They got to Voltron Legendary Defender it.
And yeah, like are there going to be gay characters in it? Oh my god!
Now here's the thing that I dread the most, right? They're going to make like a visual update to like Gundam and the Zaku's.
They already did in Ready Player One for Gundam, at least.
But like it didn't look one that's bad. Going to like be controversial and like look sort of weird.
They give it lips.
Oh no! Oh, god! No, it's not going to be like bat nipple levels, right? It's going to be like.
Oh no!
It's going to be something that makes it look more quote-unquote modern, like fitting with like, you know, Iron Man sensibilities and all that, right?
It's supposed to be a fucking space mobile suit. It's not gonna look like Iron Man.
That's the thing.
Says me.
You don't know. This is a speculation.
No, I know.
Yeah.
It feels like. Okay, look, the way I see it is they already made Gundam for Ready Player One. I'm not saying that it's the ideal way. It didn't look that bad in that, though. For all intents and purposes, as a 3D model, it looked pretty solid.
Yeah, so, but it was in like one scene rather than something that we see through the entire movie.
Entirety.
But also, it's like, are people going to be on board for that? Or are movie studios going to judge that people will be on board for that, right?
Well, okay, so what would you... Okay, let's ask this question. What would you do if you wanted to make the Gundam more marketable for, like, new audiences?
Like, I think, personally, like, I'm fine with the Ready Player One look, though I don't really care about how the Gundam looks, honestly. But I feel like studio executives would be, like, sort of weirded out by like the thought of just reusing the same design, because part of me thinks that they don't trust the like original design and that they would want to make it look different.
Oh, like
if only because
at Lydia, whatever the fuck it's called.
Because I don't think that they trust that like it's gotta, or for some reason they don't trust like the visual like profile of Gundam to be iconic enough to carry the movie on its own.
Oh, like the new Sonic, right?
But also, I probably think that Char will be in the Zaku the entire movie.
Oh yeah, he won't switch from like the Gulag or anything like that. Like he'll.
Oh yeah, no, that's way too much fucking time, money, and animation that they got to do to fucking have him switch fucking between. Like the Zeong or some fucking.
Imagine if they like take out like him being. Though. Yeah, imagine if they didn't make it red. They're just like, that's kind of dumb. Why'd they make it red?
Let's make it black.
Like I don't think that they would change something like that. They'd probably make it look really dull red though.
Yeah,
like
it's
not properly red.
Yeah, not like that bright red that he usually has, but I'm thinking maybe like a burgundy, like a
like they're gonna
red.
dull it down, and it's just like, no.
If they can make
we want our stupid bright red bastard.
Yeah, if they can make Optimus... Oh, no, that's the thing, right? So let's take a look at Optimus, right? In the original, what was it, 2007 or something like that? 2007, 2006 Transformers movie. He was mostly blue with red flames because of like how lighting captures like red.
Yeah.
Yeah, how Char? like how are they going to do this? If you
Char's all red. They might just keep him in blue background scenes though.
Space.
They might do a lot of space for one, but they might keep him like heavy in like blue areas. Even like some of like the white scenes might just keep him like a blue white, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, so like
I wonder if his pink suit will make it through.
Fucking hope so.
Probably not. No.
Yeah, we can hope though.
The suit has to have abs.
It's like
just chiseled into like the plastic, right?
Yeah. God. All right.
Like I honestly think that like Raul is going to be like minimized as a character, probably down to like a scene or two.
Oh yeah,
really?
and they're gonna do that thing where like where it's like, what was your name, Commander? Raul, Rumba Raul, and then turns around, fucking.
God. I mean, I think I'm with everybody where like it's got to start at like the attack on Side 7, but I don't know where it's gonna end. Part of me thinks they'll try to make it all the way to like something crazy like Jaburo or Aboaku, and just try to finish the entire thing.
Not. I really
Aboaku, so much happens.
I know. I'm saying they're going to like cram a whole bunch of shit in this thing, and if not, they're going to cut it off somewhere really unsatisfying, and we're going to have like a hook for like a sequel
that's never going to be made because not enough people's gonna watch this. Like, because they're clearly trying to target a new audience, obviously. But it's kind of like, I'm just confused. It's like, what kind of audience are they going for? It's like more like adult or like kind of just more mature child attribute? Because it's like, how are they selling this? Because any money they're gonna make, they're gonna try to push something like besides this movie. Yeah. Besides just a larger audience.
They're going to try to hit like, you know, the sort of broad demographic that the like DC and like Marvel superhero movies are supposed to be made for.
I was gonna say, Nate, I think the thing that's funny about their statement is like, who's this movie gonna be made for? That was the exact question Sunrise was asking themselves when the original Gundam first came out. There's toys, but it's a war drama? Yes. People die realistic deaths, but there's toys that we're supposed to be selling. Yes.
Yeah, it's kind of, but granted, very much like just kind of different. Like it's a lot of different situation now, and it's just like because there aren't really toys made for like shows that are from like a bit more mature audiences anymore, because there's like limitations on what children can really watch these days. Even though people don't necessarily care what their kids watch. Because this is mostly like targeted for they're gonna like I feel like it's just gonna be a lot of mech battles. So it's just Gundam and like Zaku's versing, because it's just like robot fighting, right? That's cool. And like they're gonna like gloss over most of like the actual story of how this is a war drama. It's just like, look at these robots fighting, that's cool. Look at that.
What? Part of me really thinks that they're never actually going to enter Earth's atmosphere.
No, because then they have to have like
part
a
of
really
me thinks that they're just going to like escape from Side 7. They're going to get a transmission from like Jaburo telling them to like be a distraction for us, and then it's going to go straight to Boku.
Yeah, it's like skip all of that Earth bullshit. We don't need that.
In the beginning of the second act, they meet Amuro meets Lala soon, and they talk with each other, and they keep running into each other.
Part of me thinks that there won't be new types either.
No, don't you say that!
Well, it's just going to be difficult to convey it, though.
Yeah.
You've seen Doctor Strange.
Well, yeah, but that's Doctor Strange.
Like, I'm treating this in the most cynical way possible, right?
Yeah, no, that focused way more on the fucking, like, visual aspect of him fucking flipping fucking dimensions and fucking directions and shit than actually, like, I understand you now.
Yeah, like,
we're a whole person together now.
Yeah. Like, new types don't have a visual standpoint of what makes them a new type. It's just that they have these kind of abilities that aren't necessarily shown. Yeah,
you've seen the movie Across the Universe? Fucking Strawberry Fields Forever. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, it's just, like, it's difficult to convey it without a visual standpoint. Like, I'll use the example. So, do you know how Deadpool is supposed to have multiple voices in his head, but they cut that out in the movie because they didn't know how to represent that?
Yeah.
And they thought it'd be confusing for new audiences that has never really seen Deadpool, except for, like, they've never read the comics, they have no context, so we can't add his voices in his head because that will be confusing for new audiences. So I think new types will still be there, but they won't be as much as a prominent thing, is what I think they'll do.
Yeah.
Because it's like, how do you explain new types to a person that has zero context to Gundam? And they have to try to figure that out in a 2-hour film.
You can... Okay, so this is how you would set that up. I'm sorry, I feel like there is a way to do it. What you would do is visually, you'd show maybe, like... You'd slow time down. You would show that, like, maybe they can... Like, you see a moment where, like you see like a transparent layer of, like, let's say a Zaku, like, moving forward or taking the shot, like, you can see where it's going, and they have that moment, and then it zooms back into their face. It's like, holy shit, like, they experience that, they know where the shot's gonna go. You see that they feel it, they can sense it. It's not exactly the same as, like, the way it'd be portrayed normally, but you'd have that moment where they could be like, it's predictive. You'd tell the audience like a spider sense.
But people don't.
You also
that's
have
reading
to keep
between
in
the
mind,
lines,
it
Mitch.
depends
People
on
don't do
who
that.
The director is.
That
is true.
Also,
yeah.
Yeah, if the director doesn't think of it, it won't be put into story.
So for me, I think that, like, either new type stuff is going to be either minimized and, like, almost entirely ignored, aside from, like, a few, like, lines referencing it, or they're going to just treat it like it's the Force and, like, just sort of hand wave a lot of bullshit that's going to happen in the story with it. Like, at least I don't see, like, a really good portrayal of, like, new type powers being in this film. If only because, like, I'm trying my best not to get my hopes up.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's just like, we really want this to be good, but we know that it won't.
Oh, yeah, no, there's no way in hell.
There's just kind of so many things, like, going against it, and it's not gonna go well. And we know that it's not gonna go well, but we can hope that it will.
Okay, so...
Because it'd be cool to try to get more people into Gundam. Like, because it's good. Like, the compilation films of the original Gundam, questionable at best, but, you get the main premise. But, like, trying to get more people into Gundam would be cool, because the other, like, the expansions of, like, the Universal Century seem pretty cool. Like, Unicorn was super solid. I really enjoyed it. We all really enjoyed it, I think.
I don't think anyone didn't like Unicorn.
Yeah, but the thing is, you need that context of Gundam to enjoy it fully. So, it's like, if more people can get, like, that bit of context, they can enjoy other things that is within the Gundam franchise. because there's a lot. There's a lot of different bits of
Part
Gundam.
of me wonders if people can watch Unicorn like people watch Fate Zero, and you don't really need the rest of the series to understand, or at least like enjoy it.
I think you can, but there's like a lot of things that I think you would speculate about because you wouldn't have any context to it.
Yeah.
I think it relies way too much on like previously existing lore, though, exist like Fate Zero.
They do talk a lot about. Like, I will say this, like, that first episode of Fate Zero is a little hard to watch, but, like, once you get the ball rolling, it works. I would argue that the thing with Unicorn would be, they talk about the 1-year war, despite it being an event that happened about 20 years ago. They talk about it as if it was, like, fucking Arthurian legend. Like, they
I mean, it's not even 20 years, right?
Yeah, it's only, like, 19 or so. No, it's not even. It's,
these like the kids in
Unicorn
were
really young,
born
so
during the
like,
1-year war.
Yeah.
So like 16,
it's only
17.
as old as Minerva is, so 15 years maybe.
Yeah. So like you have like characters in that be like, oh yeah, it's like Star Wars and hearing about like, you fought in the Clone Wars? Like, yeah, Obi-Wan, he fought in the Clone Wars. Like, it's like, you fought in the 1-year war? Yeah, fuck Sig Zeon, man. Ugh. I feel like we're gonna have a lot of time as this movie gets produced and as they come up with new information. We're gonna have a lot of time to just mull it over and figure out how we're gonna feel.
We'll definitely slowly see as like how the predictions last and how shit goes and what actually happens and what doesn't. So we'll definitely have to see.
My vote
we're gonna watch it
for China.
Oh, we're gonna watch it. It doesn't matter how fucking much of a fucking burning pile of trash it looks like. We're gonna watch it.
I don't know if my heart can take it.
I need to.
Yes, you can. You sat through this fucking second movie of Gundam. It can take it.
The worst compilation out of all of them.
What are you talking about?
I can't wait for that to be adapted.
Yeah.
Yay.
Yeah. The half hour of Kai.
You know, part of me actually thinks that Kai is going to become much more important than the Gundam film.
Right.
If only because they're going to follow White Base way more closely.
And White Base isn't half as interesting.
And it's like, they need to have somebody else in a fucking mobile suit. And you know, Gun Cannon is technically a mobile suit.
Oh, I want Gun Cannon to be stupidly buff. Like, ridiculously buff for a mobile suit. Like, Gundam will look normal, but then Gun Cannon will be like, yeah! What up? I'm Kai.
I'll be Soul Cannon.
No, it's gonna be great if, like, so the person that produces this, it doesn't really know jack shit about Gundam, and it's like, here's like White Base. It's just like, but why did they call it the Trojan Horse? That's a so much cooler name, and they go by that instead.
This is our new Earth Federation ship with the Trojan Horse, and then they make the Nazis call it the White Base. I wanted the White Base. That's my bad German.
Dude, that's why I wanted to be slightly directed towards children so they can't have Nazi ideology in it.
Oh my god.
It's the only reason.
They're definitely going to fuck up the...
White Base, blue eyes? I shouldn't be fighting them. I should be recruiting them.
Jesus Christ.
Oh no.
Alright.
You'll never be 1/10 the film that I was!
Alright, so did we get through everybody's predictions? Nate, have you said yours?
Mine was just, they're gonna be more heavily influenced by the novels, not necessarily the show. Because in the novels, it's kind of more... Because I haven't read them yet, and I will at some point, but from what I've heard and, like, kind of just summaries of them, it's kind of set out more like a film, in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that shitty, like, movie adaptation of a book. It's like, there's not great romance in it, but they try to do it. Like, in some bits, it's like there's, I don't know, it would make more sense because it's like they have like the romance that they would want. They have kind of like a more single-sided kind of viewpoint a little bit. Like it's because you get to see like in Gundam, you see a little bit of like the Earth Federation and like Space. You see like a little bit of both sides. In the novel, it feels like it's more like you're focusing just more on Amuro, and it's like, ew. But you know, sure. They're gonna make Amuro seem like a bigger dick hero than he actually is, and I'm not gonna like it.
He's the only one that can pilot Gundam.
Oh yeah, is he gonna physically hold the fucking manual the whole time? It's like, if I just give this to someone else, I don't have to pilot this fucking Gundam anymore. But no, it's my manual. No.
My dad gave me this mobile suit.
Do you think they'll put the best moment of Gundam in the movie?
Him fist bumping in the air and saying, "I'm the best."
Exactly.
And then starts crying. If they do, I will be happy.
I'm the best!
It will be like
they
a small
do the
victory
fucking 2+ hours of fucking bullshit you had to sit through would be worth it.
Yeah.
Yes.
It has to be done
Literally,
like the Shawshank Redemption, though, where like it's raining down.
It's somehow raining in his freaking where he's being held in a cell. Like he's looking outside the window. Even though they're in space, it's raining. It's like, the fuck? It makes zero sense, but it'd be like, yes. Sitting through all this bullshit was worth it for this one scene.
That's what I want.
Because the second we're able to pirate that scene, we would. And just play it on repeat and make stupid edits of it. Because I should not have good editing software. It's like, we'll ridicule that scene for whatever it is and for what it will be.
All right. Amanda, you have some actual facts about the production that you found out like literally within the last couple hours before the cast. So why don't you go ahead and share with us that information?
Okay. So all right. So it's being overseen by the producer of Legendary, and his name, I'm gonna fuck it up because Lord knows how I'm supposed to say it, but his name is like Cale Boyder, I think is how you pronounce it. But Cale Boyder is kind of the producer of like Skyscraper and the new Detective fucking Pikachu movie that everybody was talking about. So
when is that supposed to? When is this? Yeah, when is that supposed to be out? By the way, Detective Pikachu.
I have no idea. I have no idea.
Summer of next year.
Yeah.
This year or next year?
This year.
Okay.
But he's that producer. And according to what he said, him and like the Legendary Studios and Sunrise will have to work together. That was his main thing. He's like, if we put it in the movie, that's because Sunrise approved. That's it. That was their whole thing. And Sunrise even made a statement at one point saying, yeah, we're going to try our best to work with these people. We're going to try to figure it out.
Well, that's kind of comforting.
Yeah, that is kind of comforting. What's not comforting, Tomino hasn't said anything. Everything that was said on the side of Sunrise was by the president of Sunrise, not Tomino. And not fucking the guy who assisted Tomino with Char's counterattack. Neither of them has said anything about the live action movie.
Okay.
Which is concerning as fuck.
Just a wee bit.
It's also concerning where some of these fucking articles are coming from. Like, some of them make sense. They're like these anime fucking magazines that they're being interviewed by, and some of them are like, ooh, Hollywood, like, interviewers. And then some of them are just straight up Playboy. Like,
hey, we read Playboy for the articles.
That's right. I get to look at tig old biddies and then read about Tamino not being involved in the production.
No, you was put up with the tig old biddies to get to the articles, man.
Yeah, exactly. So fucking okay, and believe it or not, the article that came from Playboy was the fucking president of fucking Sunrise saying that they wanted to make Gundam more female centric.
Oh, right.
So we're turning into a Gundam Wing?
No.
No.
Sorry.
No, that means that we get cool shit with Sayla.
Oh,
yeah.
Hopefully.
okay.
Hopefully, because they're like, oh, well, Gundam has so many, like, female pilots, and we want this to be more fit to U.S. standards of what they want. Essentially, what they said was, oh, we see what's going on in the U.S., and we know what they want, kinda. So we're going to make it more female-centric, and we want to make it more diverse.
We want...
Well...
That's how we're going to introduce the character Amara Ray.
Amara Ray. Oh, no. Which they've already, like, had people up in a tizzy saying, oh, well, Legendary is just going to whitewash everything.
I mean, I don't really know if you can... It's easy to, like, whitewash Gundam. Because Gundam was always sort of multicultural, wasn't it?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Exactly.
Isn't the Earth Federation's base in Jaburo, South America? Like,
I thought that wasn't Jaburo... Wait, I thought Jaburo was in, like, Africa.
Is it in Africa?
I don't remember, but it's somewhere on like the southern side of the planet.
I thought it was in South America because they land in America and make their way down to Jaburo. Okay, it doesn't matter. The point is that like,
I mean, they have characters who are clearly like Spanish, and like clearly like, you know, from various places on the Earth. Like,
oh yeah,
they've got Japanese people. They've got like people who are probably like, Chinese.
The main point of Gundam is that it's supposed to be Earth versus space. It's not the other races versus each other. It's
right.
Earth versus space. None of them gave a flying fuck what each other was.
Right.
Fucking... But there are already people worried that they're going to whitewash it, and
I don't feel
Sunrise...
like those people have watched Gundam.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I hate being that gatekeeping asshole. I don't think the people who care about that for Gundam, like, that's weird to me. Because the Earth Federation is one nation. It's the Earth. Like, I don't know. I mean, if you make Amuro whatever race you want to make, man, I don't really give a shit about that.
Because, well, none of us care about Amuro, so...
well, yeah, but like I said, my biggest fear is that Amuro is going to be, like, played by an actual kid. And nothing wrong with kid actors. There are some good ones. But I'm waiting for, like, an Avatar The Last Airbender sort of feel, you know?
There's that. And if they do want to, like, play up the, like, romantic, like, attributes of Gundam, there aren't that many. It would be weird seeing that standpoint with a child.
Yeah.
Is the thing.
So
I don't know.
Especially like when Sayla's older.
Even though they announced this back in July at Anime Expo, they have still not yet fucking announced a director or any cast.
So there's a chance that this could be in production hell forever.
It could be in production hell forever. Especially,
you mean like the Akira movie?
Yeah, especially considering that Sunrise and Legendary both fucking said we both have to agree on it. That's the issue.
Shit.
Yeah, you got to get Sunrise to now agree to whatever Legendary wants. And vice versa. They will not, like, because that's what Legendary had to say to get fucking Gundam fans to chill the fuck out. We won't move if fucking Sunrise won't let us.
All right, so how about this? This is how we're gonna play this out. Guys, I hope you enjoyed our 45-minute Gundam talk about the live action.
Shit, has it been?
It's been 45 minutes.
Shit.
So I hope that you guys enjoyed our talk about the live action Gundam possibilities, speculation, and all that other stuff. If you like this video, give it a like, comment, and subscribe, and all that fun stuff. If you have any questions or anything or like that, leave it in the comments down below. I think the question I asked last time, I don't think anyone actually answered it, so I'm going to leave it like this. If you had anything you would want for the Gundam live action movie, what would it be? And I will leave it at this. We will do another one of these if any hint or speculation or anything comes out, because for all we know, this was 45 minutes of us talking about a movie that might not ever come out. So, like,
yeah,
no, we're gonna be
based
old.
on that very last fact. We have no idea, especially because Sunrise had an interest in it back in 2014 as well, and obviously that never happened.
I would say we have better chances though because of.
Oh yeah. Nowadays, we definitely have way better chances, but it's still a we'll see.
Yeah.
This might be in BioShock or Akira fucking levels of fucking production hell.
Well, we'll have to see. Anyways, guys, thank you guys for coming out and checking out another episode of Mitch's Minute. We'll catch you guys next week, and I will build a soundboard, and we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, do you want a sound to send us off, Mitch? Or...